Some creatures have witnessed the rise and fall of civilizations, the shifting continents of our Earth, and even the dinosaurs. Let's dive into some species that have been around for millions of years and are still alive today. The horseshoe crab is older than the dinosaurs. Dinosaurs were only around 200 million years ago, but fossils that were found of these guys apparently dated back to over 445 million years ago. These tough cookies made it through the Great Wipeout and have even been scouring the ocean floors for millions of more years. The female horseshoe crabs also lay around 4,000 eggs, which possibly also helped keep their species going with more chances of survival after the mass extinction. Despite their name being horseshoe crab, they are not actually real crabs. In fact, they are more closely related to scorpions and spiders rather than crustaceans. The chemicals that they have in their body are also super important when it comes to making medicine. They may have saved your life on a few occasions. The tail that they have on the end, despite popular belief, is not used to sting predators or for self-defense at all. In fact, it's actually used to help them flip over when they get stuck on their backs. Fun fact, they also glow under UV light, and scientists don't really know why, but the babies also glow brighter than the adults. The coelacanth is over 360 million years old and still exists today. This species of fish was believed to have been wiped out over 66 million years ago, but they made a shocking reappearance in 1938 and 1977, although the latter was unexpectedly found in an Indonesian market. Their speed of evolution is horribly slow, since right now there are no known predators for the coelacanth, so there really is no pressure for them to survive. They'll take their time with things. But this fish can get big, with the biggest coelacanth being measured at 2 meters and weighing up to 90 kilograms. They're also nocturnal creatures, which isn't anything grand, but during the night, they will travel up to 8 kilometers from their home in search of food. Sometimes, if they travel a bit too far, you can also find them grouped up in a cave with even more coelacanths, like a bunch of roommates. They don't seem to be aggressive towards one another, which is interesting. Coelacanths also taste absolutely awful due to the excess oil and other additions that they have within their bodies. They can make you extremely sick if you ingest one. The Chinese giant salamander has been around for about 170 million years. Their evolutionary changes are so incredibly minimal, they are considered to be living fossils. The giant salamander, given its name, is the largest amphibian to ever exist in our time. The biggest one on record to date stretches out to almost 6 feet and weighs up to around 50 kilograms. The crazy thing about these guys is that they absorb oxygen through their skin, despite spending the majority of its time underwater. They don't have gills whatsoever. To no one's surprise, they are quite the skilled hiders, camouflaging against the river bottoms to hide from predators. Did you also know that they're nicknamed the baby fish due to the fact that when they cry out, it sounds eerily similar to human offsprings? They play an extremely vital role in river ecosystems, but because of a growing demand in the 1970s for these delicacies, they are extremely endangered now. They were so popular in the 70s that each one would go for more than $1,500. It's still happening to this day, and although there are rules and sanctuaries set in place, these big boys are still sought out for. Whale sharks have been around for 28 million years. Sharks in general are already considered living fossils, but let's focus on this gentle giant of the sea. That's no underestimation either. They are considered gentle giants because they pose no threat to divers and swimmers. They're very curious though, and they will come up a bit closer if you pique their interest. They won't harm you though, and in fact they might even be playful towards you. Some people reported these sharks rubbing up alongside their bodies affectionately. They're filter feeders, so their diet is more focused on small fish, zooplankton, and squid. Weird fact though, did you know that they have teeth on their eyelids? Sharks are known to have teeth-like scales along their body, but whale sharks in particular have recently shown that they have the same texture along their eyeballs, which is not seen in other vertebrates. They are given the name the whale shark for the obvious fact that people mistake them for whales. The biggest one on record right now is 46 feet long and are able to weigh up to 40 tons. If you were to ever come across a whale shark, what would your first thought be? There are living fossils roaming our Earth today, species that have seen mass extinctions and even the drastic changes happening with mankind. The Nautilus has been on this earth for the last 500 million years, with no change with how they look. They do simply just look bizarre, with their weird outer shell and 90 tentacles. That's right. Using these tentacles, they latch onto prey and pull them into their beaks that's hidden beneath all that disgusting mess. They are cephalopods, and a nearby relative to octopus and squid if that wasn't obvious enough. But they're the only cephalopods that have this grand outer shell. They also travel through jet propulsion, using a siphon and blowing water out of it. The real fun fact is that although they mate once a year, their intimate moments with one another last up to 30 hours. These creatures are so incredibly interesting when it comes to keeping their buoyancy underwater. They are the only creature to swim closer to the surface, trap water through small vents on the top of their shell, only to cover it with a tentacle before pushing themselves back down and swim around with buoyancy. How insanely cool is that? In nature, they're also able to live up to over 15 years. Jellyfish have been in our oceans for over 600 million years. They've seen it all, everything before the dinosaurs, during, and now witnessing our grand takeover of the Earth. Some researchers even state it could be even longer, maybe even over 700 million years. They come in all shapes and sizes, with scientists theorizing that there could be over 300,000 different species of jellyfish, with some of them, like the Nomura jellyfish, measuring to about 6.5 feet and weighing up to 200 kilograms. As cool as they are, they have no brains and are 98% water. In fact, they don't have any organs at all, not even a heart. But they do have a nervous system that assists them in their survival in the ocean blue. Them being majority water helps aid in keeping them hidden, pretty much like a camouflage. They're also developed to breathe oxygen through their skin, so there really is no need for gills or lungs. Rumor has it that there's also an immortal jellyfish in the Mediterranean Sea called the Teratopsis dorni. It will literally age its cells backwards and then grow old again. Did we just find eternal youth for humans? The Komodo dragon has been around for at least 3 million years, and despite their names, they're not actually dragons. But because of their size, it makes them the biggest lizard species in the world. The largest one on record measured at 10 feet long and weighed up to around 135 kilograms, so we can understand why they would be given the title dragon. Did you know they're also venomous? I surely didn't, but the venom proteins that come out of their mouths are believed to be on the same level as a venomous snake. They also have an entire island for themselves in Indonesia, and they have become a sanctuary for them, with 4 of them being labeled as Komodo National Park. Despite this though, they're suspecting that their real origins are from Australia, which also makes sense as to how dangerous and wildly bizarre looking they are. They managed to find a bunch of fossils that were shockingly identical to our modern Komodo dragons, dating back as far as 4 million years ago. The goblin shark has haunted these waters for over 100 million years. There is still much to learn about this species. We know very little about these deep sea goblins, which is terrifying in itself. They keep themselves hidden 4,300 feet below the ocean's surface, but sometimes they will make their appearance known by accidentally coming too close to the surface, getting themselves caught in fishing nets, and other various unknown reasons. They also have a very nice pink hue to them due to the fact that because they're deep sea creatures, they have a more translucent appearance, so we get this cool illusion from their bodily fluids. The large noses that they have equipped are there from the moment they are born, and it's a little awkward for them to navigate around at first, but much similar to human eyes, they eventually grow into them. They have tiny fins and very weak bones, not to mention their poorly developed bodily systems, but somehow, despite all odds, they stuck around for this long. What truly makes them remarkable is the way they eat. When they come across a prey, their jaws lurch forward 10 feet per second from the inside of their heads, extracting to fully engulf their meal before retracting back into their bodies. What is your favorite prehistoric creature? Let me know down below, and I'll be sure to talk about it in the next video.